Again, I'm going to start right at 9 o'clock. So I just popped in a little bit early. Um, recognizing the day of the week. Anybody else struggling with the day of the week recognition? Because I literally have to look at my phone or ask Alexa. Anyway, I'm going live. No, I'm not asking you now, but I could. But I don't know how many of you found that. So about a minute away from going live, just filling out my my RPM. And for those of you who don't know about this, so I started living by this. It's the Tony Robbins rapid planning method, the RPM planner. It's an efficiency that I use for the business. It allows me to capture every idea, every thought, everything that pops into my head, and then develop an execution plan for each of those items. And wants, needs, ideas, communication, everything gets put down in here. Nothing doesn't. And no, I'm not sick. I just took my inhaler about 30 minutes ago. So we're going to get started here in a moment. But yeah, I find myself waking up in the morning going, Alexa, what day is today?
It's Tuesday, April 14th.
Because I don't know about you, but I have no idea what day it is lately with all this stuff going on. So, all right, well, we're about that time. It is hit the 9 o'clock on the dot button. So let's get this thing rolling. Hey, everyone, wherever you are, thank you for joining me again on another live Coffee with Ken, episode 4 today, flashing the Mickey Mouse mug. I've got a huge collection of these. I love them. In fact, we have an homage to Mickey in our pool, but it's a long story. I'll explain later another time. Today, I wanted to talk about two things that are really important to me in terms of my business, and that is brand and hustle. Brand, meaning building your brand, and hustle, meaning the way you build your brand. Now, a lot of people associate hustle with never sleeping, with working 24/7, and that's absolute bullshit. That is not hustle. That is killing yourself. Hustle is putting in the work, the effort, what does it take to build the business. That is what hustle is, and being willing to do anything and everything to build your business. Now, this morning, I noticed I had a couple of comments offline that the microphone was a little echoey because I'm in my basement. So I'm using the AirPods this morning. If the sound is better, let me know. I want to make sure you guys have good quality audio. That's important. But if you have questions, now is the time to jump in. Drop them in comments, ask your questions, get them ready about brand and hustle or whatever's on your mind in terms of navigating what's going on in your business. Today, we've added a new thing. You can also text your questions, 480-712-4177, 480-712-4177. Yes, you can text your question. I can pull it up right here on the dashboard and I can respond in real time, okay? So if you're struggling to navigate your business right now through these challenging times, through this season, remember, we're all in this together, and I want to help you. And I'm going to help you today by showing you how to build a brand and how to increase your hustle. So questions go in comments, or you can text again, 480-712-4177. Chris Rita joining us. I see Don Schmidt from the Netherlands joining us. I'm going to add you somehow. There we are.
Hey,
how are
Ken.
you, Don?
I'm doing excellent. How are you doing?
What time is I'm good. What time is it there in the Netherlands? Isn't it like the middle of the night?
No, not yet. 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Well, good evening from the Netherlands. Do not drink coffee. You'll never go to sleep. What's on your mind today, Don?
Well, I would like to ask you a couple of questions about branding.
Okay.
So
fire away.
Fire away. Yeah. So sometimes with our clients, we see questions come up about branding versus marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things clients keep asking me is, I want to be a brand. And how do I invest in being a brand? How does that compare with marketing? And one of the examples people always come up with is Apple. And,
right.
So they look at Apple, they see what they're doing, but they might be in a whole different phase in their business with complete different budgets, et cetera,
Absolutely.
et cetera. So, yeah.
Absolutely. First of all, you don't need to have Apple's deep pockets to have the budget to build a brand. And I just muted your mic because I hear you've got kids in the background, and I've got kids, but they're upstairs doing schoolwork. So I muted you for a half a second while we're doing that. But you don't have to have Apple level budgets to build brand. And let me explain that. So when I started this company back in March 6, 2017, there was no dollar amount attached to this business. It was like $0. And I started creating the vision, the message, the voice, the imagery, all of the things that associate with a brand. I wasn't looking to drive sales necessarily right away. Yes, sales are always great, but sales are a byproduct of building a good brand, and it's a long-term healthy strategy. Now, you can certainly have conversion-based messages even as a brand, right? You can build your brand over here and have conversion-based messages over here. The two can work together, but building a brand doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend trillions or billions and millions of dollars. Like, I've built this brand for under $500,000 over the course of the last several years. So if you think about that, your clients are dead on, they're smart, they're right. And what you have to do is create indelible neuro associations. That's a really like weird thing for people to talk about, but in marketing, neuro associations are formed when customers or companies make jingles or make ads that are very sticky and memorable. And so all of the messaging that like I do within my company are very sticky and memorable and fun. They're engaging. They help build and elevate the brand. It's the same thing with the artwork. These artwork touch points are really, really inexpensive touch points to build your brand. But the voice of your business is also building your brand. So like here in the States, and I always use this when I'm speaking on stage, and for anybody who's been following me for a while, they've heard me say this before, but I call it the brand game. If you want to build a brand, you want to be the go-to, the number one thing people think of in your product, your service, your field when they're looking to transact. So if you were in the United States, and I think we talked about this once before. If you had hemorrhoids, do you remember what the product is? What product would you go and buy?
With hemorrhoids.
Do you remember the name? For hemorrhoids in the United States. Okay, there's a product, it doesn't translate to Europe. It's called Preparation H. If you had a cold and needed to blow your nose, what would you use?
Kleenex.
A Kleenex, which is a brand. It's actually a tissue. And in America, if you had a cut on your finger and needed to protect it, you would put something around that cut.
A Band-Aid.
Which is a bandage. See, it's the brand that people remember, not the product. So 2 out of 3 isn't bad. I think that's a song. But building a brand doesn't take a ton of money, Don. It takes a lot of patience. It takes time, and it takes the ability to sit back and go, okay, I can sit this out. I can wait this out, and I can run conversion messages again alongside that. You don't have to build brand like it's not concrete. You don't have to just say, I'm building brand and that's it. I'm not doing anything else, right? It doesn't work like that. You can build them harmoniously side by side. It's just a matter of where you dedicate your time, your budget, your resources. I'm an 80% brand, 20% conversion guy. And it's built a 7-figure business like that. The reason is because I stick to that model. I always market brand first. Brand, brand, brand. Because the more I intensify the brand voice and the messaging and the association that people have with the brand, the more our brand prospers. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing.
No worries. If you have any other questions, or are we good?
Yeah. So if you would give, so what are the first steps you can take to implement this?
It depends what the industry is or what the business is, but typically I like to start with creating some visuals that people remember, right? You want to create neuro associations, right? You want to create these memories that are associated with it. There's a reason that Viagra ads show men and women frolicking through a field together, holding hands, or strolling on the beach, or in a bathtub together. They create neuroassociations that if I take Viagra, this is what my life is going to look like, right? They create
Right.
neuroassociations. So you have to start building these neuroassociations with the consumer about the brand, right? They have to have a feeling and understanding of the value of the brand for them. So I like to start
Right.
with visuals and then messaging. And I think one of the biggest fails in messaging for businesses is they get really high up here. They get very heady and they talk above the consumer rather than right where the consumer is. And
Exactly.
so you want to talk at a fifth grade level. You want to have a conversation with your audience. And even when you're in the education phase, even when your ads are educating the consumer around what your product or service is, you don't ever want to be up here, because when you're up here, no one hears you.
Good stuff. Thanks.
Cool. Don, thank you so much for jumping in this morning. I appreciate you. And
You're
you
more
have
than welcome, Ken.
you have a great evening, man.
Yes, you too. Have a great time.
Take care. Don Schmidt checking in from the Netherlands. He hit me up yesterday after the live stream to talk about brand. And I said, save this. I want to talk about this live this morning. And then, so it was really, really interesting. So brand, as you heard, and again, I'm not sick. I just took my inhaler before I started. I have seasonal allergy and asthma. It's all good. But if you hear me coughing, that's all it is. Everyone's a little concerned these days, and I get it. And I appreciate your concern. Again, if you have questions at any time, you can text your questions to me now at 480-712-4177. And I think that works globally, but I think the text and data rates would be ridiculous if you're in Europe. 480-712-4177 in North America. How's that? And then obviously on social, you can drop your comments below because I want to answer those questions for you. And so that's a little bit about brand. I want to talk a little bit now about hustle. And hustle is something that, to me, so many people get lazy about. Hustle doesn't mean you don't sleep. Hustle doesn't mean you work 24/7, 65. What hustle means is that you show up and you do shit and you make it happen and you do what it takes. And that means any job in your business to make it work. It doesn't mean taking the easy path and saying, oh, I'm just going to mail it in. So I want to talk a little bit about hustle. So last week, a couple of days ago, I got a message on Facebook Messenger. And I'm going to try, by the way, I've never done this. I'm going to do a share screen live, and I hope this works because I've not done this before. But let's see if it works. I'm going to do a tab. I'm going to do that. And let's try that. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm doing a share screen. Hey, look at that. So right now you're seeing this shared screen. And last week on my birthday, I get a message from this guy, Vlad. And Vlad, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, but Vlad Negru, Vlad. Anyway, it starts with a happy birthday wish on my birthday. Super cool. We're connected on Facebook. I'm connected with a lot of people. But I am not, I don't know everyone personally, right? So Vlad is one of those people that I'm connected to, but I don't know personally. We've never met. We've chatted like this on Messenger, as many of us do. So Vlad sends me this message. And this was a week later, a week after my birthday. He says, hey, Ken, I spent all day working on this page and a personal letter to you. And there's a link. And he says, please take a few minutes to look at it. And let me know what you think, please. Thank you very much, Vlad. And I'm like, okay, wow, this guy took some time to do something for me and I don't know him. And what did he do? So I'm going to show you what he did. And this is where I talk about respecting the hustle. Okay. So Vlad wants to write for my company. He wants to become a copywriter for Ad Zombies. So what did he do? He created this landing page about, could I be your next copywriting zombie? I write words that sell, but for Ad Zombies, I'm willing to give brain eating a try too. And it's a personalized letter. Dear Ken, here, I'm going to zoom in on this so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. Hope this all works. Dear Ken, I'm a Transylvanian copywriter. Oh, so he must be from Romania. And this is my jam. I love copywriting for the world's most. Anyway, so here's the thing. This is what I'm talking about when I say hustle. This guy built a landing page to sell himself to me to become a copywriter for Ad Zombies. That is the way to hustle. Vlad hustled, and I love the hustle that he shows. And by the way, look at this. He's invested in himself to improve on all levels. Copywriting courses from John Carlton, Dan Kennedy, AWAI, Clayton, Ray Edwards, who I absolutely adore. This is hustle. Okay, so hustle doesn't mean you don't sleep. It means you do what it takes. I really wanted to have Vlad on this morning and have him join the live cast, because I wanted to just kind of bring him in and talk to him about his mindset and what drove him to making that decision to just do this. But that is what hustle is. So if your business is struggling right now, if your business is having challenges right now, it's time to, as I said yesterday, go back to that startup mentality. It's time to start hustling again and building your brand, right? This is all about brand and hustle. So let's go over this again. Brand is creating those visual touch points, that feeling with your audience, that reputation that people know, like, and trust, which is why, by the way, Apple does so well as a brand, because people know them, they like them, and they trust them. And they make great products. They don't just make garbage. They're not selling crap. They're selling really good technology, things that people know and use and need. So, but the messaging with Apple is so on point, and it's always consistent. And that's where it starts. Messaging, your ad visuals, the choice of words you use to sell what you sell, your product or your service. That is what brand starts with. And if you have questions about your brand, message me anytime, because this is how I've built my company from 0 to 7 figures in less than 2 years. Brand, brand, brand. Ha, look at this. You know what? Vlad just messaged. This is so cool. I love real-time stuff. Vlad just said, hey, Ken, I'm in the car. If you want me to jump in real fast, I have 3 to 4 minutes. All right, Vlad, come on, bring it. I sent you that link, brother. Get in here. I want to talk to you and talk about why you did this. So I'm waiting for Vlad to join the live cast. And when I see him pop in, I'm going to bring him in. So hopefully he's watching this in real time and pops that link and pops in right now. But so brand is all about the visuals and the messaging. Hustle is more like what Vlad's doing. And I'm not saying hustle means you don't sleep. I'm not saying hustle means you don't see your family. I'm not saying it means you have to live in a cave. It just means putting in the work, man, showing up and giving your all, even when you don't know if your all is going to do anything, right? And what I mean by that is this. Vlad is looking for a job, right? This guy said, all right, how do I get my attention? How do I get Ken's attention at Ad Zombies? What is the best way for me to show my abilities and how good I am? So what did he do? He went back and said, I'm going to create this landing page, and I'm going to pull this up again. He literally created this landing page, and this is how he decided to sell himself on becoming a copywriter for Ad Zombies. Oh, I just saw Vlad pop in, so I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to pop him in, and I'm going to bring him live right now. Vlad, how are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
You are
good.
you are like a kid. So you said Transylvania. So you're from Romania?
Yes.
Ce faci?
Bine tu.
By the way, my Romanian, my ability to speak Romanian is incredibly limited, because I had a Romanian girlfriend for 5 years when I lived in New York, and so I learned a lot of things, and a lot of things I should never say to someone who speaks Romanian because they're all bad words, every
Yeah,
one of them. So okay, so tell me
that's great.
something. You know, I shared with the audience what hustle is. And what you did epitomizes hustle to me. So tell me why you did this. Why did you choose to write this landing page? You had no reason to write it other than to get my attention. So why did you do it?
Yeah. So basically, delivering value and just putting myself out there and I don't know, trying to um, give more than I take. So that's the way I see things. So if I can give more than I take, then I'm happy, and those who I work with are happy as well. So I've been following you and Ad Zombies for a while, more than a few months, and ads from you keep popping up on my news feed. And at some point in time, that this was like 2 weeks ago or so, maybe 3 weeks ago. Um, I said to myself, let's see what this company is all about, because I keep seeing ads, I keep seeing content, and I really loved what you're doing and what your team is doing. So um, I said to myself, well, let's give it a try. I really want to write for you. So I don't know. I have some WordPress skills. I know my way around. I don't know Elementor and plugins like that. So I thought I should use those skills and create a landing page and try to reach out and see exactly. Just put myself out there and offer as much value as I can, um, and see how it goes. I mean, I was expecting to fail, honestly. Uh, I was expecting you to not even see the message, but you did, and I'm really glad you liked it. And so, if I was going to fail, if this was a failure, then I would have probably followed up a lot and tried to give a lot more value and so on.
So that was I love that, and I showed the landing page while you were sharing the story about that. And one of the things I really loved about this is this morning you started messaging me, and I messaged back. By the way, let me tell you why I responded. And I think that oftentimes as people build businesses, um, a couple of things happen. You get to a level and then you get really busy. Some people just become assholes. Others just become really busy. There are days where I am an asshole, but most days it's just that I'm really busy. And but I respect the fact that even at the height of his growth curve, when I would send a question to Gary Vaynerchuk, when I would ask a question, he would respond within minutes. Like I would get an email from him, and as one of my mentors, having the knowledge that Gary, in as busy as he is to this day, takes the time to answer those questions for me, responds to those questions. Who am I not to respond to Vlad? Right? So that's my
Hmm.
mindset. That's my mentality about it. And so then today you said, listen, I'm serious. I'm willing to work for free. And I'm like, okay, there's a guy who understands what hustle is. Hustle doesn't mean you have to give away everything forever. It means you show your value. You bring value to someone up front. That changes the entire conversation that I'm having with you, because most people aren't willing to do that. Now, the other thing that I have tremendous respect for is that you're not a US born or an native English speaking
Yeah.
person. Your native language is Romanian, but
Yes.
yet your copywriting skills are clearly on point. I've looked at a lot of the samples. Like the stuff you do, no one would be able to look at that and go, that's not a native English speaking writer, right? You see, and that's the difference. You've put in the time and the effort and the work to get to where you are. So I said to you, all right, Vlad, you're on, brother, game on. And I gave you a challenge. What was that challenge?
I need to write 3 ads for you, for Ad Zombies. I mean, and just I want to say something. I'm really anxious, and
Why are you anxious?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just an anxious person, I guess, in general. So this is the first live I'm on. So this is the first time in my life on a live call, and I'm really anxious and nervous, and I can barely speak. Honestly, I'm surprised that I can even get out words. So so regarding what you said, so I have to write 3 ads for Ad Zombies, and those ads need to be related to the current situation. I mean, the current situation has put a lot of pressure on us and on business owners and entrepreneurs, and I have to come up with angles that make the people go, I don't know, I mean, grab their attention, and then get them, of course, to buy from Ad Zombies.
Right. See, and my ultimate goal in this exercise is, so let me back up and tell you the genesis or the foundation of why I said, hey, Vlad, do this for us. And here's what it was. Last week, I was on a call with Nick Dio and some of the team at VaynerMedia and Sasha Group. And we were talking about messaging around what's going on with this whole COVID thing. And a lot of businesses, and Dave, that is super kind of you. I'm going to show this. Dave said, hey, Vlad, you're doing great, buddy. Really appreciate the vulnerability and authenticity. I do too. A lot of respect for you, brother. And you're doing great. Here's the thing. And I lost my train of thought. This is what happens when you have 6 million things going. But the reality is that the exercise was started because of the conversation with Vayner last week at VaynerMedia was, is your brand, here we are back to brand again, communicating in a voice that resonates with what's going on today. That doesn't mean your ads have to say COVID. It doesn't mean you have to talk about face masks. It doesn't mean you have to talk about the stuff that's going on directly. It means you have to be sensitive to what's going on right now, right? There's a huge difference. And I'm gonna pull something up while we're talking about this. You have to be sensitive to what's going on in the environment today. If your messaging isn't sensitive, doesn't feel authentic to what's going on, you're going to lose people. And you're going to lose people because if you do business as usual, it feels awkward. It doesn't feel like you're paying attention. And so your messages have to pay attention and be sensitive to where we are today, to what's happening in this current environment. So I said to you, all right, Vlad, game on. And I said, here's an example of an ad that we just started. By the way, this ad isn't even running yet. I'm going to pull it up on screen. And I love this technology, man. This technology is just dope. And Ashton Shanks, hi, good to see you, brother. So here's the ad. I said, all right, here's an example of the ad. And it says, yeah, we know it's hard. And they say working from home is easy. And there's a video ad. And we do words, not diapers. Sorry. Right. So that's the ad that we said, okay, here's an example of the type of messaging we're looking for. And then I said, here, let me show you the video. And so we have a video that's associated with it. Right? There's no marketing, there's no buy now in this. It's just, it's a brand message. It's something that helps people go, I understand. Right. And it's very relatable and it feels like we're paying attention to what's going on. So that was the conversation we had last week. There were about 30 of us on this Zoom call. And again, Nick Dio, great job on that call. You need to stay aware, and your messaging can't be business as usual right now. You can do business as usual, right? And a lot of businesses are succeeding and even excelling right now because everyone had to move to online. Everyone. Yeah. And so the people that were here now have this unique opportunity to really amplify their business and amplify their message. But you have to be sensitive. And so many businesses aren't thinking about the situation. They're just thinking about their wallets. And that is shitty. It's wrong. And you're going to lose long term. But when you build a brand and your brand is paying attention and all of your messaging feels right, guess what happens? You're the company that people remember. You become, in as the conversation with Don Schmidt earlier, the Preparation H, the Kleenex, or the Band-Aid of your industry. And people don't forget that. All you need to see these days, here, look at this. Here, I'm gonna take this off my foot. This means something to somebody. That swoosh means something. That swoosh stands for something. And that brand wasn't created overnight. That brand was created over years and reinforcement and messaging and decades. But guess what? You'll never see a Nike ad with a price point and a buy now, ever. There's a reason for that. So we covered a lot today, Vlad. We covered brand before you got on, hustle. I totally respect you reaching out, and I am so glad you did. I'm grateful that you did, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table with your ads. I'm excited, and don't feel hurried, don't feel rushed. I don't want you to phone this in, as we say in the States. I want you to take your time, be intentional, and let's see what you can do with your hustle to help Ad Zombies build the brand further. And I'll tell you, when this is done and I look at this stuff, and if it's good, you're going to start writing for Ad Zombies.
Awesome.
Deal?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Vlad, thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And say hi to everyone in Romania, including the Count. Hey, by the way, you have his name.
Yeah, yeah.
Vlad, but you're not a bloodsucker. You're an incredible writer, and I appreciate you and appreciate the hustle.
Thank you.
Have a good night. You did a great job, Vlad. Take care.
Thank you.
So there you go. So brand and hustle, and I love that. I love how Vlad just took the chance and messaged me, and now he's doing something to help us build the brand. And that's all it takes. That's what hustle is. So you build a brand by creating the messaging. You build a brand by telling a story. You build a brand by being authentic. You build a brand by caring about what you do and the customers you serve. And that's important. All right, so I will be back here tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. And again, throughout the day, if you have questions that you want to ask tomorrow, you can text me, 480-712-4177, 480-712-4177. If you're struggling to navigate your business through this challenging season, remember, we are all, every single one of us, in this together. I want to help you, but I can't help you if you don't ask your questions, okay? We're all in this together. Don't panic. Pivot. See you guys tomorrow. Much love. I see one more question. Hey, Vlad, I appreciate you. Vlad says thank you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you back. I will see you all tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Peace.